Welcome to our space of hope and inspiration, where faith is ignited and the Word of God meets us right where we are. Thank you for being here and for allowing us to walk with you. Matthew 7:7 Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you. There's an image I want you to create in your mind right now. Imagine you're standing in front of an immense door. It's an old door made of solid, heavy wood, with grain that tells stories of centuries past. You stand there, hands in your pockets, staring at the wood, waiting. Minutes pass, hours pass, perhaps years have passed. You're cold, you're hungry, and above all, you have a desperate need to know what's on the other side. But you don't move. You simply wait for the door to open by itself. You wait for someone on the other side to guess that you're there. You wait for the universe, or fate, or God, to take pity on your silence and invite you in. And while you wait, bitterness fills you. You wonder why doors open for others, why that friend got the job, why your neighbor found love, why that acquaintance healed from their anxiety. And you remain there, facing the woodwork, motionless, thinking that perhaps your destiny is to stay outside, exposed to the elements. But today I want to tell you something with the authority that psychology, communication, and above all, the most powerful spiritual truth ever written. Grant me, the problem isn't the door. The problem isn't the homeowner. The problem is that you've forgotten how the basic mechanism of existence works. You've forgotten a universal law as real as gravity, a law codified in Matthew 7:7. Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you. It seems simple, doesn't it? We've heard it so many times, but I assure you that if you understood the depth and strategic power of these three words, ask, seek, knock, your life would never be the same. Because they aren't just three suggestions. There are three levels of intensity, three states of consciousness, and three master keys to unlock reality. Let's start with the first level. Ask It teaches us something fascinating about the human brain. We aren't good at processing ambiguity. When you don't know what you want, or when you know but don't dare to articulate it, your brain enters a state of confusion. There are many people, and perhaps you are one of them, who live under the syndrome of silent suffering. They believe that if God is God, or if the people around them truly love them, they should know what they need without them having to ask. If God knows everything, why do I have to ask? You wonder. It's a trap of the ego. Asking isn't informing God of something he doesn't know. Asking is an act of humility and definition. When you verbalize a request, you're doing two fundamental things. First, you're acknowledging that you're not self-sufficient, that you need help, that there's a limit to your strength. And that, my friend, requires brutal courage. We live in a society that rewards toxic independence, the I'll do it all myself mentality. But the text says, ask. Second, and this is when neuroscience comes in. When you ask, you activate something called the reticular activating system in your brain. You give your mind a clear objective. If you say, I want to be happy, that's too vague. The brain doesn't know what to look for. But if you say, Lord, give me the wisdom to manage this conflict with my child, or I need the resources to start this specific project, you're calibrating your internal compass. But there's a deep fear in asking, isn't there? The fear of rejection. The fear of silence. What if I ask and nothing happens? That fear paralyzes us. It makes us feel unworthy. Many don't ask because deep down, they believe they don't deserve to receive. They believe they are second-class citizens in the kingdom of heaven. But the text doesn't say, ask, and if you are perfect, it will be given to you. It says, ask, and it will be given to you. The condition is the request, not perfection. You have to break the vow of silence you've made about your own need. You have to dare to use your voice. Now, let's take it a step deeper, because asking is the beginning, but it's not everything. There are many people who get stuck in the asking stage. They sit on the couch and say, God, give me a job, but they don't send out a single resume. God, give me health, but they keep eating junk food and don't move. This is where the second imperative verb comes in. Seek. If ask has to do with the voice, seek has to do with vision and movement. Seeking is a kinetic action. You can't seek while remaining still. Searching means stepping outside your comfort zone. It means lifting stones, looking behind furniture, walking down unfamiliar paths. If you want your product to reach people, simply wanting it isn't enough. You have to research the market. You have to test. You have to fail. You have to iterate. The search is the active process of aligning your life with what you've asked for. This is where most people give up, because searching is tiring. Searching requires energy. Searching involves facing the frustration of finding nothing during the first few attempts. Imagine you lose your house keys. At first, you look in the logical places. The entryway table, your pockets. If they're not there, do you give up and sleep on the street? No. You start looking in illogical places. You move the sofa, look in the trash, check the car. Your level of searching increases in proportion to your need. How much do you desire what you're asking for? The search is the test of desire. God doesn't play hide and seek with us to mock us. He allows things to be hidden to see who has enough passion to pursue them. Seek and you will find. Notice that it's a promise of finding. But finding is reserved for the explorer, not the tourist. The tourist wants everything handed to them on a silver platter, with pretty pictures and no effort. The explorer gets his boots dirty. The explorer gets lost and finds himself again. In my clinical experience, I've seen people depressed because they were waiting for motivation to arrive at their door like a pizza delivery guy. And I have to tell them, with a lot of love, but with firmness, motivation isn't going to find you sitting down. You have to go out and find life. You have to create change. You have to seek professional help. Find a support group. Find nourishing reading material. Actively seek God's presence, not passively. When you move toward what you're looking for also begins to move toward you. It's a spiritual law of attraction, and we arrive at the third level. The most intense, the one that separates spiritual children from adults. Knock. In the original text, the word implies persistence. It's not a timid knock on the door. It's a continuous knocking. It's a knock, knock, knock that doesn't stop until someone answers. Why is it necessary to knock? Because sometimes there are obstacles between us and the answer. Sometimes the door is closed not because we're being denied entry, but because we need to develop the strength to cross the threshold. Knocking requires resilience in the face of frustration. We live in a microwave culture, a culture of instant clicks. If a website takes more than 3 seconds to load, we close it. If we pray for something for 3 days and nothing happens, we assume God said no. But the principle of knock speaks to us of importunity. Remember that parable of Jesus about the friend who goes at midnight to ask for bread? The neighbor doesn't get up because he's his friend. He gets up because the other is so insistent, so annoying, so determined that he has no other choice. This doesn't mean God is annoyed with us. It means that persistence demonstrates faith. Faith isn't saying, I believe once. Faith is continuing to knock on the door when everything seems to indicate that no one will answer. It's about getting up every morning, despite the diagnosis, despite the overdrawn bank account, despite the loneliness, and knocking on heaven's door again with your hope. Persistence reshapes your identity. When you persist, you stop being a victim of circumstances and become an active agent of your destiny. You stop saying, poor me, no one will open the door for me. And you start saying, this door is going to open because I'm not leaving here until it does. Ask, seek, knock, voice, action. Persistence. Do you see how everything connects? They aren't 3 separate things. It's an evolutionary process. First, you define what you need, ask. Then you set out to find it, seek. And finally, when you come face to face with the opportunity or the obstacle, you persist until it opens, knock. But I want us to pause for a moment on the second part of each phrase, on the promise, because this is where God's empathy comes in. That embrace we need. It will be given to you. You will find. It will be opened to you. Notice that it doesn't say, maybe. There is no uncertainty in divine language. It is a categorical statement. But, and here's the nuance that, as a psychologist and a believer, I must give you. Sometimes, what we are given isn't exactly the packaging we expected, but rather the content we needed. Sometimes you ask for patience, and what you are given are difficult situations, because patience is forged only in difficulty. Sometimes you seek love, and you find self-love and healing first, because without that, you can't love another. Sometimes you knock on a specific door, a job, a relationship, and that door doesn't open. But as you knock, the vibration causes a side window you hadn't even seen to open, leading you to a better place. God isn't a vending machine where you put in a prayer coin and take out a product. He is a father, and a good father gives good things to his children. If your child asks you for a sharp knife because it shines and he likes it, you don't give it to him. You give him a safe toy. Sometimes, our no is God's greatest protection, but the promise remains. He who seeks, finds. Perhaps you won't find what your ego wanted, but you will find what your soul desperately needed. I know you're tired. I know you've asked and felt only echoed back. I know you've searched and gotten lost in the woods. I know you've knocked until your knuckles bled. And I understand that you want to give up. It's the logical human response to fatigue. But you're reading this today because there's a spark within you that refuses to go out. There's a deep intuition telling you there's more. That you weren't designed to live a half-life. To live in emotional, spiritual, or mental scarcity. The door will open. But you have to change your approach. Stop begging like a pauper and start asking like a child. The pauper asks for alms, asks for scraps. The child asks for an inheritance, asks for what they know is rightfully theirs. A heaped of lao. Stop searching like someone looking for a needle in a haystack, desperate and without faith. Start searching like someone with a treasure map, knowing the treasure is there. It's just a matter of time and steps. Stop knocking timidly, as if asking for forgiveness for existing. Knock with authority. Knock knowing your name is on the guest list of that house. Do you realize how powerful this is? Change your mind, and your external reality will change. And it's precisely because this shift in mindset doesn't happen overnight, because we need to train this muscle of faith and psychology day after day, that Gokrip exists. I want to extend a very special invitation to you, not to consume more content, but to join a vision. On the Gokrip channel, we don't settle for the surface. We're not going to give you empty phrases to make you feel good for 5 minutes. At Gokrip, we are divers of truth. We analyze life, the mind, and the spirit with the same depth you've felt today. If you feel you need to learn to ask clearly, to search strategically, and to knock with resilience, Gokrip is your gym. It's the place where those of us who have decided to stop living in the hallway and enter the main room of life gather. It's for you, who know you are gifted in potential, but sometimes feel blocked in execution. Imagine having a fellow traveler who reminds you every week, hey, don't stop knocking on that door. Hey, adjust your search. Look this way. That's what we do. We're a community of people who understand that faith and reason aren't at odds. They're two wings of the same bird. So, as we wrap up this time together, I want to leave you with a task. Not a school assignment, but a vital one. I want you to choose one thing today, before the day ends. Just one thing you've stopped asking for because you lost hope. One thing you stopped seeking because you grew weary. A door you stopped knocking on because the silence hurt, and I want you to go back to it. But this time, don't go with just your emotions. Go with your understanding. Go with the certainty of Matthew 7:7. Visualize that door. Take a deep breath. Feel the power of your voice. Ask. Feel the strength in your legs. Seek. Feel the firmness in your hand. Knock. The sound of your knuckles against the wood is the most beautiful sound heaven can hear. It's the sound of faith in action. It's the sound of someone who has truly decided to live. Don't stay outside. The party is inside. The provision is inside. Your purpose is inside. And remember, you are not alone on this threshold. We are with you. God is with you, waiting for the exact moment to turn the handle and say, Welcome home. I've been waiting for you. See you on Gokrip. Subscribe, join, and let's keep opening doors together, because there is so much more waiting to be found by you. Go ahead. Knock. It will be opened. If this message touched your heart, like it, help others find it. Subscribe to Gokrip. A truth that not only inspires, transforms. Leave your prayer request in the comments. We are praying for you. You are not alone. God bless you.